Alrighty, what is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel for another market update. Hope everybody's having a lovely day. And with that being said, let's get into the TA. All right, guys. So obviously, I am not a financial advisor, but I definitely will say right now, if you are up on the week, if you're up big on the day, all right, it is not a bad idea to lock in some gains, lock in some profits as we're coming in some pivotal areas over here on these charts and setting yourself up for success going into the following trading week. We're about to go through the weekend. We are about to suffer some theta if you're an options trader. And it is not a bad idea to have a fresh palette so you can go ahead and take advantage of whatever the market throws your way next week. All right? No bias, no nothing. So do yourself a favor if you want to and lock in some gains. All right, guys, let's get after it. We're going to start off here with SPY, QQQ, IWM, DIA, Mr. VIX. We're going to go over some big boys. We're going to go over Bitcoin, and then we're going to go over the chips. All right, let's get into it. We're going to start off here with SPY. All right, first things first. I don't know how you're going to close out today, but I will definitely point out target number one has been reached. If you close out with a bullish engulfing candlestick right here, that's not going to be the worst look. But I will say right now, over here on the weekly chart, you have a big old green bar. Unless they flush you hard into the end of the day, this thing is going to give a bullish look going into next week. And I'm not saying you can't pull back. Honestly, it looks like to me that you very well could pull back to right here, 431.48 next week. And then you could continue higher from there. That is just, me just freshly looking at this chart. That is what it looks like is possible to me. All right, guys, we will have a weekly update out tomorrow. And in that video, we will have a more detailed approach and we will have the full picture going into next week. We will give our scenarios for the week over here on SPY, our outlook on SPY and QQQ, as well as a bunch of other stocks. All right, but let's get after it. First things first, you do have this wick here. I don't know how this is going to close out, but you close out with an upper wick. That is showing that sellers are taking that position and we're seeing profit taking. Well, either sellers are taking their positions or we're just seeing profit taking, which makes perfect sense. It's what I started the video off with, all right? Let's come down here to the 15-minute time frame. What I am going to point out is you do now have that 15-minute bearish divergence, all right? Where are you stalling out? Right here at that 536 target. Okay, it wasn't guaranteed that it was going to be a hit, but guys, we have confluence going on here, and quite frankly, all right, you are starting to break down from that uptrend. That is what's going on. What I will point out is you got a triple bearish divergence going on over here on SPY, right as you slam into target number one at 536. Guys, we could be seeing a pullback. That is what I was just pointing out. That's that. On the pullback, what are we going to be paying attention to? We're paying attention to 533.07, and then we're paying attention to this 530.51 to 531.48 zone down below. And if you can't hold there, 529.31, like I said on this weekly chart, it does look like it's going to be closing out in this bullish manner. All right, you don't typically see downside fall in these, but we could see an intra-week pullback next week. And at that, like you see right here, all right, you got a decent, pretty similar candlestick. Guess what? You pulled back, right, from the high. How much did you pull back, guys? That is a $6 move. Well, that would be like us coming all the way down here to 530, and then boom, you go higher next week. Okay, let's see if we can find another one right here. You didn't go lower. You did not pull back at all. All right, right here, you did end up pulling back. You closed out the week. You pulled back, 0.5% there, and boom. You went off to the races, okay? So we do have a bullish candlestick at the end of this week, all right? I don't think they're going to massively flush you into the close, but regardless, guys, unless they really get you all the way back down here to 530, this is going to be a bullish look going into next week. Moving over to QQQ, you have a similar look. You bounced off, just like SPY, you bounced off of the weekly 9 EMA over here. That is not something bad, guys. We have pullbacks, they exist, and we honestly are printing a candlestick just like that. You have this 3 weeks of consolidation, boom, you broke up. Okay, so we had inside bar with this guy compared to this guy, and then what do we have the next week? We broke out. I like that look. I do like how it looks. And you also have a previous, all-time high break and retest over here on the weekly chart, as well as the daily chart. All right, you see what printed off of there, guys? Congrats. Super hecka big congrats if you did end up buying that dip. That is honestly my style, guys. I am a, we'll say mostly every position I take, I have a daily or it's a few day or a few week swing. That's what I usually have in mind. All right. 621 expiration. I was very vocal down here on this dip that I think you're going to have a really good time, especially on one stock in particular that has made me a very happy man today. And I hope it has also made you guys very happy men and women today. I really do. It's Amazon. Sneak peek. So congrats if anybody was balls deep in Amazon with me and got to ride that bad boy up. Okay, I got a little surprise for you, and we'll mention it later in the vid. Okay, all right, guys. So as you guys see here on QQQ, we are decently aggressively selling. All right, right there when Henry decides to start recording. Depending how this closes out, guys. All right, we're gonna be opening ourselves up for that pullback, and same thing on SPY, guys. I can see it. All right, you close out up here, you open yourself up to retest this previous top of the structure over here with these 2 weeks over there. All right, and that would be a move all the way down to 458. All right, that is what I'm really seeing just going off of that weekly chart right now with how things are shaping up. But over here on the daily, you could very clearly see, guys, if you pull back to 460.58, that's where we're going to be looking for buyers. That was the previous high over here, just like you did it over here. Well, now we got the same thing. Okay, I don't think you're just going to pop up to new high and then, aggressively sell from there and not go up to another new high. I just don't think it's going to happen. I think we probably will get up here to 470, but we're going to have to see about it. We're going to take things as we go. We play things level by level, all right, guys? That is why we have these daily updates. We're always prepared with what's going on in the markets. So that's that. All right. So coming down here, the 15-minute time frame, what levels are we watching below? We're going to be paying attention to 460.58 and underneath there, 458.24. If things get really, really, really spicy next week, we're going to be watching all the way down here at this zone between 455.30 and 454.60. That is what I am paying attention to over here on QQQ. All right, above this previous high here, if you pull back next week, pull back to here, then you shoot up to a new high, that opens the door up to here. That is how I'm thinking. IWM, guys, you see that arrow? Okay, guess what? We're now in the golden pocket. Well, we already bounced off the golden pocket. You're technically not in it right now, but you did come down to that 241 level, and you missed it. All right, you missed it. It was actually pre-market. If you come over here, you missed it by 1 penny. Literally 1 penny. All right, the low of this candlestick was 242. We know buyers are stepping in over here, and actually, guys, just so you can see what I'm looking at, guys, we know buyers are down here at this zone. We know they are. So if price returns down to there, that is where we're going to be looking for them buyers at. All right, same thing over here with SPY, or not SPY, QQQ. I don't necessarily use extended hours, but this is something that I will point out that I saw this morning. I sometimes use it. There's that. But back to IWM over here, guys, you're looking for something, some sort of structure or base or bounce to pop up over here in this golden pocket. And quite frankly, guys, I'm just going to point out the hourly RSI is getting down there. And if you come down here on the 15-minute time frame, and you do actually, if you take out this low and this holds here, this bullish divergence, that is exactly what I'm looking for. It doesn't look like it's going to hold. It probably looks like it's going to go something like that. And then you have that. Okay, so that's what I'm going to be looking for primarily over here on IWM is something like that. Okay, but yeah, if you're pulling back into here, I don't necessarily think you're going to massively sell right through it. You've slowly pulled back into it. I think it's much more likely that we're going to catch a bid from over there. Just my opinion. All right, guys, everything I do share on this channel is just my opinion. All right, next one, DIA. DAA did not make it up to 393. You got up to 392, though, today. Pretty darn stankin' close there. And you are still over that daily 9 EMA. That is something I like. I don't like how this thing is looking right now here on the daily chart, though. On the weekly chart, guys, if you close out with a hammer, that does suggest we probably do have some more upside going into next week. Let's see how it closes out. But right now, guys, I would say caution is warranted. I meant what I said in the beginning of the video, right? I think it's a very, wise move. If you're up on the week, I mean, even if you're not, if you have positions and you killed it today, it's not a bad idea to lock in them profits. It's really not. And I'm just going to be transparent. I've locked in just about everything. I like how I'm going into next week, all right? And I think if you want to like how you're going into next week, then that is a wise move. Not saying you got to do what I do, but, guys, scale out, leave some runners. If you got time on them contracts, all right, you got July contract, leave some runners. Why not? Why not? All right, Mr. VIX. Guys, we are getting down there. We're continuing our Mr. VIX crush. But again, it is not something that I'm going to say is really making much sense to me right now, all right? VIX has not been really falling. Okay, I understand SPY just hit it with the Uno reverse card. You just had, you know, a good amount of gains given back. And now it's down 0.08%, but it was just up 0.5%. And VIX was not really down that much. It's still like, I'm just saying, guys, people aren't, yeah, they're not, you know, buying into this thing right now, because if they were, people were buying a bunch of the SPX calls on this rally over here, VIX would be down here. I'm going to keep pointing out abnormal behavior out of Mr. VIX over here. Its caution is warranted season. That is what I'm pointing out here. So that's that on Mr. VIX. That is my little warning sign from Mr. VIX that I have been pointing out the last few days. But yeah, it's just another day, another weird VIX over here. Until that changes, I'm going to keep pointing it out. Now, guys, we got the big boys. Amazon. All right? Amazon. And right now, I'm going to take the time to go over this little surprise. All right? Alrighty, guys. Because Amazon over the last week has been so good to us, guys, we took it from one golden pocket to the next. Until tomorrow, there's going to be a 55% off the lifetime memberships for our Discord community. That means instead of paying $1,600, you'll be able to pay $720 for a lifetime of unlimited trade ideas, my personal option trades, A+ setups each week, constant pivots and technical analysis on SPY, QQ, and IWM each day, as well as a morning brief before market open, going over expected price action Monday through Friday. All right, guys. So we also do the chart updates, but that's, you know, the bulk of everything. If you do want to lock that in for a lifetime of those, if I'm running the service for the next 10 to 15 years, I guarantee the prices are only going to go up. That is a way you can lock that in for, you know, quite on the cheap. So that will be active until tomorrow. It will be closing out tomorrow. You know, guys, I do, you know, discounts. I will do them on holidays, but I guarantee this is the biggest discount I will be running. I just, you know, Amazon was good to me. I know Amazon was good to a lot of you guys. And if you want more things like that, there you go. Welcome aboard. All right, guys. But Amazon is now in the golden pocket. And this is why I'm saying it's definitely a good idea to lock in them gains. All right, guys. So we're coming down to this uptrend. This thing has had a nearly vertical move since we started. You know, really loading the boat down here, at least me personally. I told you, I was open about it. I was balls deep in Amazon. Guys, I'm completely scaling out of this bad boy right now. In 15-minute triple, quadruple bearish divergence going on over here. You're now breaking your uptrend, or at least you're testing. You're probably about to break it. I just told the Discord when we were up here that, hey, you see that? Game over here. Look for the pullback. It probably is going higher, judging by how things are going. But guys, do not think things are going to go straight up. We expect sellers in the golden pocket just like we expected buyers in the golden pocket. When you come into the golden pocket, you look for the opposing side to step in. If they don't step in, you got a really weak stock on your hand. Or, you know, strong in this case, if you were to come up here and just bust right through 188. But guys, like we've been pointing out, you look for sellers in between 184.08 and 186.67. That was the target for this big boy trade. All right. So there's that. I would definitely be, you know, being cautious over here on the big boy Amazon. I know it's treated us well, but it has the possibility to treat you not so well if you're not locking in them gains. So obviously not a financial advisor. I will not give financial advice, but I will, I'm just going to speak to my future self. Hey, Henry. This is when you see these things, this is when you're up big, you should be scaling out. This is when, you know, hey, okay, it's time to take off the greed hat and it's time to acknowledge, hey, maybe you're up a couple grand. Time to scale out. There you go. All right, moving over to the next big boy, Apple, guys. You still are just hitting your head over here on the 196.38 resistance. That is where we are looking for sellers. It was between here and 199.62. I am just going to say, it doesn't matter where this thing goes, if it wants to bust up straight from here, which is unlikely, or if it wants to pull back to this trend line, or it wants to do this thing. All right, it's going to be a bullish setup, and quite frankly, I think this is the most likely outcome right here if you pull back into this trend line, and then from there, you're probably going to get buyers stepping in. I am going to have Apple on my, it's on my radar, guys. On this pullback, it's on the radar. Just like Amazon was just on the radar, Apple is on the radar, but I am also going to point out Amazon, guys. If you see this pullback and you retest this 180 level, I think that is the first place to take your shot. I'm also going to point out the golden pocket is going to be down here near 179. That is the next spot we're going to be paying attention to, Mr. Amazon. All right, moving on to Microsoft. Microsoft here on the weekly chart, I don't necessarily think this is looking bad. I think we do have further upside, but I will point out, again, if you nailed this move, it is not a bad idea to lock in profits when you are at the perfect spot. You're in the golden pocket. This is exactly where we are going to continuously look for the sellers and the buyers, depending on the situation. But guys, right now, if you nailed this thing to this thing, this is where you know, again, no financial advice, but this is where you want to be locking in the profit. Okay. And then you look for the pullback. Maybe it retests this daily 9, like I pointed out the other day. I know it already did it yesterday. Maybe it does it again. All right. And then you set yourself up for success if the market throws another opportunity at you. That's what I was trying to hint at in the beginning of the video. And I think, honestly, everyone's going to do very well if they, you know, honestly just think like that. And sometimes I, you know, can forget about these things. But guys, when it's screaming at you in the face, you just kind of got to pull the trigger. That's that. And SPY's taking the doozy. All right, we come over here to Mr. Meta, and I am going to point out, you see that arrow? I took that arrow yesterday. Why? Because you have now hit the TPs. All 3 of the TPs that I had going into this week for this trade idea, guess what? All right, they've been hit. You're stalling out in the golden pocket. It can go higher, but I do think a pullback is likely. And if you see it come back to 482.50, that is where you want to take your next shot on Mr. Meta. I don't think you should be just, again, no financial advice. You could do whatever the heck you want. But I don't think it's the wisest move to be just, you know, oh, you scaled out here, let me buy back in here. I don't think that's really, that's not the best look over there. On the weekly chart, it's not the worst look. You probably do continue higher, but maybe you consolidate for a little and then you do so. I could very clearly see that this is a possibility. And then you go up. All right, you base out here just like you based out here, and then you go up. You got your explosion out of this range here for 4 weeks. And now what if we just do it again? All right, set yourself up for success. Do the right thing. There you go. Goog. All right, Goog, guys. We still have broken out of that bull flag, but I will point out, just like I'm pointing out with these other guys, all right, the thing has taken this out. You're looking for a higher low now that it has taken out the 0.786 fib. That's just how I think. All right, golden pocket. If you stall out in it, there you go. All right. But if you break it, that is when I know that we're likely going to see a 100% retracement. And what would a 100% retracement be? It's going to be a move all the way back up to 179.95. All right. If you get back up there, I think things can go a little crazy. And I'm actually going to point out right now, you have a little pattern going on here. If you pull back here, you could just do something like that. And then you have that after your bull flag breakout. Bullish structure up the wazoo. I like what I'm seeing over here on Goog, but I do think it continues this pullback. You have a bearish engulfing candlestick on the day. All right, now we're going to talk about some Bitcoin. All right, Bitcoin, guys, you are back testing right over here. And I'm just going to say, guys, if you had the profits, we're going to just look at coin. All right, this is where you scale out. This is where you take them. If you wrote it up from the trade idea from all the way back down here and the one all the way over here, this is exactly where we are looking for. You've now hit 2 out of 3 of these TPs. Things don't go straight up. And quite frankly, guys, the weekly chart, it does say at this point in time that we could be seeing that pullback right there. And from that point, yeah, I think then we go higher. But guys, you know, again, you scale out in the golden pocket. You look for sellers in the golden pocket. That's what I'm going to say. What I will also point out right now is you got that, you have that. And then if you pull back like a big one, you have that. All right. And look at that. Okay. It does not look the best, but you know, what if you did that? All right. What if you literally just did that? And now you can clearly see a left shoulder, a head, or, you know, if you really want, you got this right here. And this whole like zone here can be your neckline. It's up to you guys. It's up to you. But coin, it's looking like it's going to be pulling back. CLSK, all right? I liked it until I didn't like it. And again, I'm just going to say, all right, this thing, just like it just pointed out over there in coin, it looks like it could keep pulling back here. And I'm all ready to look for that next opportunity over here on CLSK. Where's that next opportunity on CLSK? Support play, and underneath support, you're looking for major break and retest, all right? You come over here to the weekly time frame. You've been basing out here for a very long time now. A very long time. That's 3 months, guys. This break is going to be huge. I think it's going to break to the upside. But if you get a chance to buy it down here around 13, what is that, 13.91? That is a golden opportunity. Like I said, set yourself up for success. If you see it, you can take it. But if you're bag holding from up here, that might make it so you don't want to take it. Or you can't. So there's that. So yeah. All right. That's what I'm watching over there. SMH, guys. All right. We are pulling back off that first target. All right. Well, that was the second target. We already hit the first one on the first run. All right. I guess we now can take this off. There's that. Now we're watching. That is the only target remaining on the board. Now we've hit, the first and the second. Guess what? I'm not sure how this thing's going to close out, but you close out like this, it does open yourself up for at least a retest all the way down here of, boom, right there. And now moving over to NVIDIA, I am going to point out, guys, we got our split. It's about to be incoming. We could see a sell-off. I've been seeing on Twitter. I've been seeing people compare it to Tesla's splits and, all these other things splits. And yeah, it looks like a common theme that you pull back after the splits. If you see this, this will be a golden opportunity. I am ready to take that opportunity. I'm hyped about that opportunity. All right. It's either going to come there or it's going to come to this uptrend or it's going to break the uptrend. It's going to do something like this. Boom, boom, boom. And then you come down here and then you can play that. That's that. AMD. Again, just breaking, retesting that uptrend. I really would not be taking this thing long right now. Just me. I don't think it's the best idea. I think you are literally just hitting it with the break and retest, and you're probably going to revisit all the way down here at 158, and then under there, 154. SMCI is the one that got away in the wrong direction. I'm just going to say right now, I still think this thing is loading, but this thing has is not acted the way that I thought it was going to act. It's fishy behavior. The market moves up, the thing doesn't want to move up. I don't know what else to say about it. Thing doesn't want to do what I normally see do. All right, you did break that downtrend right there, and you back tested this downtrend. You do have the 4-hour bullish divergence, but maybe you're going to undercut that low and put in another 4-hour bullish divergence. And I'm going to take a shot again. But yeah, no, I had to cut a loss today, so that was that, and that's okay. Mr. Amazon, we're going to say Mr. Amazon and Bitcoin made me a happy guy. Honestly, guys, everything I was holding, all of my 621 expirations, I told you guys, I was buying the dip. All right, when we saw this dip, I was ready to buy the dip, and I was ready to sit on it for a little while. We sat on it, we got rewarded. So I'm a happy camper. I hope you were a happy camper. And that is that. TSM, guys, I am going to point out, you got this inside bar and also a spinning top. Not the best look. Looks like you could now pull back. When we pointed this thing out, it was right here. You started breaking down from here. We pointed out this was where you wanted it, 148.43. And then what do we have in the hourly time frame? You put in that bull flag / falling wedge. You had a good time again. And now I think it's time for that pullback. MU. I also think it's looking like we're probably going to get the pullback we pointed out yesterday or the day before. I think it was probably the day before. We probably did it both times. Break and retest. Okay, off of this uptrend. That is what you had. You had the chance to get that good time here on the break and retest off of 121.41. We told you things were looking sexy, all right? Things were set up to rip a Rooney. They ripped a Rooney. They really freaking did. And now it's time for that pullback. So that is that. All right, guys. Next one is ARM. This one is still just, it's in the golden pocket. But now you actually do have that topping tail. Okay? And that is a look that I am going to say is probably going to lead to some downside. That's that, guys. Theme of this video. Secure the good stuff. That is that. Secure the good stuff. Secure your money. Get ready for next week. GME, guys, this is one that I am sorry. I saw the Roaring Kitty stream, and the guy is not taking it seriously, and he killed the stonk. Very much so killed the stonk. Come over here to AMC. He also killed this guy over here. Guys, it's best not to touch these things. We have constant trade ideas that we're calling out on the channel, as well as in the community. If you just want, the detailed plans of those things, they're there for the taking. You don't need to be gambling on these things. You really don't. That's not how you're going to stack up your account. It's not going to happen. All right. You can get a big winner, but as you can see, it also could be taken back very quick. And yeah, that's why I really don't like touching these things. Every time I touch these things, I get burned. So, you know, I don't like touching them. That's that. I really, you know, that's how I feel about them. And short-term expirations in general, guys, I think I said it earlier. I'm like, you know, I like taking these swings, whether it be, you know, a few days swing or a few weeks swing. All right. I feel obviously much more comfortable if I got some time. All right. Let's just look at it this way. Your hit rate is going to go way up if you just add time and you're just patient about getting your entries. Okay. If you spot the setup and just give it some time, you're going to be okay. I'm actually going to point out golden pocket test. That is that. Over here, golden pocket test. That's where you look for sellers, guys. Uber, the thing is heating up. The market's melted down right now. Oh, it's not. It's kind of recovering a little bit, but either way, Uber is on the come up. That is something to pay attention to. I like the stonk. I like the stonk. Up to here, 73.66. All right, Baba. I'm just going to say, guys, it's returned here. I think it might just dance around here. I was hoping you'd print a hammer candlestick off the week. I was kind of excited about this one going into next week, but we're going to have to see how this shapes up. Somewhere in here, I'm probably going to take a July position or an August position. Why? Because I think this has a nice swing potential to it. All the way back up to the 88. This is a pretty big move. You just got to be patient on it. Kava, this is another one that I'm going to say. Down here, you just got to be patient on it. I think it's setting up to give us some opportunity, but it's not right now. It's looking like it's going to keep pulling back. All right. We'll cover this guy over here. VRT. It's another one that's been on the rise for a very long time. What I will point out is you're breaking your uptrend. That is not the best look. You have all this volume doing it too. I will also point out you're coming into the golden pocket. So that is something to note as well. So maybe we do see a move like this. If you want to take advantage of it, there you go. If you want to short it, there you go. All right. But that's how I'm seeing this chart as of right now. There's another one, VST. That is also breaking a big uptrend. Boom. All right. So these are things, hey, if you're short focused, if you're that kind of guy, that kind of gal, there you go. You hit it with the break and retest today. All right, guys, that is what I got for you. With that being said, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate that we just keep getting this channel out to more people every single day. And welcome aboard. Welcome aboard to, you know, the fresh couple hundred people. Well, the fresh like 500 people that have joined over the past 30 days, over the past few days. Welcome aboard to, yeah, over 100 new people. I hope you enjoy our community. If you would like the private community, link is going to be down below. You do have that discount code running right now. But guys, we are constructing a very solid trading community here on YouTube, and I cannot be more happy. I appreciate you guys, and you guys bring a smile to my face. Love you guys, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.